Hey guys, happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, May 30th. Can't believe it is almost the end of May 2019. I'm here with the beautiful friend of mine, MacKenzie Peatfield. Did I say it right?
You did.
See, I did it. All right, so this is super important. Let us know you can hear us or see us. You obviously want to watch this show. I love the topic, Life by Design. Maximus is on. What's up? All right, see, we already got it. Julie Barquist. We got hearts. We got all sorts of stuff going on. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Super excited. We've been planning this for a while. Dave Fraser is on the show. Raj. I'm sure they all looked at the promo, and that's why everybody's tuning in. Hey, Dallas. All right, so let's talk a little bit about you. They always want some background, some origin story. So tell us about MacKenzie.
Sure. So I was born in Maine. My parents actually lived here in Lake Nona, so I was a seasonal kid. I moved here in 2013. I did a year of high school at Lake Nona, so that's really where I started my network here in Orlando. They were a commercial real estate family, so that's where I started my career at, open house. I was like 8 years old.
So you worked it. You worked the industry. Because we always joke, you obviously weren't born and then decided to become a realtor, but you actually have it in your blood.
I do, yeah. My brokerage actually calls me Pedigree. Yeah.
Pedigree, I love it. So but a lot of times when kids are incorporated into that, like my kids were incorporated into my insurance world, they had zero desire after putting together newsletters and flyers and things to ever get into the industry. Did you like it immediately? Was that your goal from the beginning, to become a realtor?
Yeah, as a child I was like, oh, real estate, I had it like tattooed on my forehead. I did get other fields.
What'd you try?
I tried marketing and business management, but my degree was in public relations and communications.
Where'd you go to school?
Thomas College, and then I finished at SNHU online.
Nice. I want to do an online doctoral program so people can call me Dr. Ted. I don't know how that's going to work. So you tried those other things, and that just wasn't it. But that must have given you more tools in order for you to be more impactful in the real estate world. So when you got out of that, you tried other things, and you decided to be a realtor, you didn't go commercial?
I have some commercial deals that I'm working right now, some hotels in South Beach that I'm working on.
That sounds really horrible. I love South Beach.
It is. To go there and just vacation at the spot and check it out is
nice.
Terrible.
That's good research development, R&D. I like it. But your primary is residential. Mm-hmm. All right, so talk a little bit about the topic. First of all, I love the fact that you basically had a realtor Barbie growing up. A lot of people just don't. They don't have that. Nobody really knows what they want to do. I'm not, yes, so Dallas, Dr. Ted sounds good, doesn't it? No, I still am not 100% sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, other than I love talking to people on a daily basis. But I think it's so cool that you knew kind of early on. I think that allows you to be where you're at the age that you're at. And I don't know your age, and I wouldn't ask your age, but I know you're much younger than me. And I love that, because I think a lot of people don't have that focus, don't have that gift. I think that's awesome. But you also came up with the title. You came up with this title for the show. So let's talk about living your life by design, Life by Design. Where did that come from?
So Life by Design I came up with because being in real estate allows me to design my own life. Not only run my business the way that I want to, but it gives me the time availability where I'm in control, how much I get to spend time with my family, my friends, schedule vacations, and work as hard as I want to.
But tell me about that, because I think people like to use the word life-work balance, family life-work balance, and I think that it's easier said than done. So what are some of the things that you do? Do you section off your time? I know people that will only take phone calls from 9 to 10 and 2 to 4 in the afternoon. What are some of the tips that you can give them that you do? Because I think we all want to figure out how to get more life out of our life, if that makes sense. Even though you might love and have a passion for what your occupation is, what you do for a living, there's still living to do. So give them some tips.
So proximity is key, to be around people where I'm around Dan Rojas all the time, Gil Ramos, Bobby. They are, you know, if I have a question, I can just go to them and have an immediate answer. Or if they don't know, they're super adamant to get me the right answer that I need, and I have tools available at all times.
So you're utilizing the tools. That's one of the things we talked about before we went live. MacKenzie, if you don't know or didn't see, her social media is strong, which means her media in general, her information systems that she utilizes are super strong. And you're willing to, or you want to have people around you that can answer the questions immediately. They can help you. So they mentor you. You have mentors.
They do, and it's super important to have mentors that have a like mindset as you, and similar goal sets. So, you know, you're going after the same goal here to be successful.
And so how does that work with life, though? Thanks, Lewis. What's up, buddy? How does that work with life? Because it sounds all good, and I know most real estate agents, you don't, and it's anybody who's their own business owner, which is basically what you are. So this is across the board a very generic conversation, because a lot of business owners can't figure out how to not work 24/7, how to capitalize on the fact that you do have flexibility in your schedule. How do you make that work? Balance in life is a myth. I love that, Dan. I was going to get to that, but that's sort of where I was heading, but you're right. So how do you make it so that your life part is still important and is still a part of what you're doing, and you're not working 24/7?
Right. So I do time block. I have a calendar at home that's right in my kitchen. I have a book that I carry with me in my bag. I have everything synced to our power drive.
Love it.
And my
You're
cell
so
phone.
organized.
I do. I have two planners. Honestly, one's a big book with notes in it. That's like day to day. So if I want to go back to things I was working on the next day, I'll do that. And then I have like super detailed, like what kind of
So
food.
talk about time. Oh, you have all the way down to the food? All right. All right, so we obviously have an overachiever when it comes to this, which is good, because it's good to have that thing to reach toward. So talk about time blocking, because people say it all the time. What does that look like? So you talk about the food, but do you say, all right, so from 9 to 10, I'm gonna meditate? Or do you even go deeper? Is it 9 to 9:31, I'm gonna meditate? From 9:31 to 9:35, I'm gonna brush my teeth. How does it work on your schedule?
So I'm always like either 1 o'clock even, 1:30, 1:15. I'm always like increments of 5, like, you know, 2:05, I gotta leave at 2:05, walking out the door in my car, driving down the street, or I'm gonna be late. I am sometimes infamous, and I am really working on it to not be 5 minutes late.
Oh, so even with all the time blocking, I love the confessions. Even with all the time blocking, you still can be late.
Sometimes it's out of your control. You know, you get in your car, you turn it on. Oh, I forgot this on the counter, or I gotta get gas, or traffic is bad, and
so even the most down to the nitty gritty detailed person can be late, which is a good thing. I think people get so caught up on they beat themselves up if it doesn't happen.
Oh,
on
we
that
feel
exact
so
time.
bad.
See, you do. I knew it. So what do you do though for the business side? So let's talk about business first. Time blocking, I think people hear about. They're afraid of it. They don't know how to do it. They don't really know. They're not committed to it. By the way, it's a commitment to really flesh out your schedule. I-4 traffic, Patrick says, right? I mean, who can account for that?
I drive I-4 twice a day.
So how do you do it for? Let's talk business first. Do you start, like some people have the 4 a.m., the 4-hour work day, or
the ninja work
week. The ninja work week. Tell us a little bit about your morning routine, because I think it's important. You're designing your life, and we want to hear about it.
Okay, so I do color code. I have,
of course you do.
I have my black and red, which is my business, and then I have blue, which is my family and my personal life. I wake up in the morning. I have a 2-year-old son, so I'm feeding him breakfast, getting him ready to school, and from school, dropping him off. I go straight to the office or straight to a showing, or you know, wherever it is that
so you have
be.
See, I didn't know this. So you have a 2-year-old in the mix.
Yeah, he'll be 2 in September. His name is Noah. He is just sweet as a button.
I love it. Hi, Noah. Noah will be able to see. So in the morning you have to take care of him. So that's more family time, right? So do you have to block in things? I'm curious, because we didn't have time blocking back in the Stone Age. So when my kids were young, do you block time to read to him in the morning, make sure he gets the breakfast he needs? Do you read to him in the evening? What are some of the things that you do? Do you actually have to block some of that family time too?
I do. So I actually, when I have something come up, I schedule everything a week in advance, and I really have a hard time rescheduling because then things will just become out of balance and become hectic. So I'll already have things set, and then it's like, if you're trying to get me, you got to get with me either the Friday before that week or that Monday to schedule for the week ahead. And
I love that. So I'm like that as well. And I think a lot of people get frustrated with people like us that are like that. My favorite is when somebody calls me the day of or the day before and either wants to wife knows better. Stacy, you know better. We do a show at 1 o'clock. Either reschedule or they want to have a meeting. They want to schedule an actual meeting. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Tomorrow? No, I can't do that for you. So I had somebody recently want to reschedule, and I can't reschedule them for a month. I want you to not take that personally when that happens, because if we are scheduled, that means we're being attentive to the people who are on our schedule, and we're present with them at that moment during the time that we have blocked out. And that's what you want, right? Do you want somebody who's distracted on their phone all the time for an hour? I don't do that. When I'm with you, I'm with you. That's all. That's my 100% focus. And I think a lot of people get so caught up in the fact that, oh my God, I can't believe you can't reschedule me for 4 weeks. I had something come up. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. So do you get that? Do you have people that give you a hard time about that?
I do, and it's definitely not personal. It's just, respecting somebody else's time, because if I have to reschedule or you have to reschedule, then our mind is going to be different places, because it's like, and if you even try to make it work, I often feel like it's time wasted, and it's just better off to just reschedule and have a focus.
I agree. I have people, Ted, I can come in for 15 minutes. Okay, it's going to take me 15 minutes to say hello to you. So unless you have a written out plan of what the 15 minutes are going to be, it's going to be very difficult for it to be productive for everybody. I also have people that want to call.
Oh, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
What's up, Debbie? We love Debbie.
Awesome on the panel.
She's awesome. Hey, Donna. People who want phone calls. People get mad at me because they want to schedule. They want to call me, and I say, we're gonna have. If you really need detail, we're gonna have to schedule a call. The reason that that's important is because I can't. I'm in back-to-back meetings all day. I don't. Maybe I do time block, and I don't know. I can't just pick up the phone. I can't answer it. I had somebody call me this morning, a really close friend. I said, listen, unless you're in jail or something's going on, I will have to call you back in between the meetings, or why don't we schedule a call for tomorrow at 10? That sounds crazy, but that's the most productive use of my time and their time. Do you schedule calls too?
I do. I'll start my calls at 8 a.m. and as a realtor, it's important for us to execute our calls. So from 8 to 10 is our call time.
So you call people back, you make new calls, you do whatever you're doing during that 8 to 10 period.
Yeah.
And of course, what we're both saying, it's not that we won't be able to call you back if you call, because it's important for both of our businesses. It's just that because of our society wanting everything immediately, when I can't pick up the phone or when MacKenzie can't pick up the phone right that moment, people begin to get frustrated and stressed. I'm like, oh my God, if it's a fire, why don't we talk? Couldn't we have dealt with it last week when it started to become a fire, or yesterday, or can we figure it out? And I think a lot of people have a hard time with that, and they misinterpret that as us not being responsive or caring. And it's the complete opposite of it. We're caring for the people we're in the moment with and what we're working on. So I'm a big proponent of time blocking. What about food? You were talking about food, so I've got to know this.
So where I was getting down to is
Joe Lopez says, hi, Mac.
Hi, Joe. Hi.
I love me some Joe.
I know, right? But for food, I was actually going there because I pay really close attention and detail to people. Like if I see that they're wearing a certain brand of clothes that's really unique, I'll remember it, or what they order for food or for drink, and I'll try to remember it that time. So when I'm on the phone, I'm like, yeah, let's go to this place and you can get, that cocktail you liked so much. And it's more building rapport and getting to know people and closer to people, because it is a relationship career.
Yes, it is a relationship. So talk about how you do that, because I think some people who are listening, hey, John, hey, Joe finally said hi to me. I know you're going to say hi to the younger, prettier one than I am first, Joe.
Oh, Jack Louise.
Jack Louise, what's up? I think that people think that the relationship is not what's important, the time blocking, and that's the complete opposite. By time blocking and by really trying to figure out your schedule and being committed to it, you are able to be more present with the people you're with, and that's what I want. So don't you feel like, so if I'm with you, you and I are doing this, or we met earlier and Dan was here, hi Dan, ladies first, that's right, Joe. But our conversation has been all about us, even before the camera and before we went live. I think that's so important when you're dealing with clients, right? Don't your clients want you, if you're showing them a house or you're doing a listing appointment, they want you to pay attention to them. They don't want you on the phone trying to seal the deal for 4 other deals. And so it's super important when you time block that out. So talk about the relationship part. What do you do specifically?
You're busy.
It's
Popular.
insanity.
Popular.
1 o'clock, guys. 1 o'clock I do the show. John has a question. How do we focus on getting a local investors' attention or to create interest in foreign investment? I'm assuming the rest of that. So great question.
Yeah, great question. So I look at where the foreign investors are paying attention to, like Orlando, I think for the census of 2017, 2018, this is by Rick Shing. He has a whole presentation on it. You can find it on his website. I think it was like 13% or 11% of foreign investors in Orlando were from Brazil. So I actually started hashtagging on all my social media when I would do videos for vacation homes or new construction. I would be hashtagging things that are relevant in Brazil, and I would get business that way in my DMs and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, I'm interested in this, or I'm looking to relocate to America. I do not speak Spanish, which has been a huge setback for my business, but I just refer them out, or either have, I have a team. I'm on the power team. Hashtag go power team.
The power team. What's up, power team?
So we do have women on there that speak Spanish, and they're able to.
That's helpful. I agree. I wish I would have learned a foreign language when I had the opportunity. Rosetta Stone, it's just a lot of commitment on my brain, and I tried it. I've learned enough to be dangerous. I mean, we all know Margarita, Corona, Dos Cervezas, por favor. Jose Cuervo. But you're right, it can be a challenge. But I love that you use the hashtag. So talk a little bit, let's move from time blocking. Let's talk a little bit about the social media. You're super good at social media. Remember, Life by Design. So social media can be very impactful, really impactful, if you do it properly. So you have to think it out, design it. I mean, Life by Design doesn't have to be just your personal life. It can be your business life, like we talked about.
Yeah, it's all as a whole. I am my own brand, so that's going to be my personal life and my business life is all tied together because that's who I am. When I was in school for marketing, I have an eye for design anyways. I'm a Pisces, so I'm artistic, and I'm able to work from my phone, on my laptop, 24/7. I am on my phone more than I would like to admit that I am.
Me too.
Yes,
I get it.
But a lot of the times it's either I'm answering calls, texting, designing artwork and stuff, or updating my profiles, and I'm trying to always stay active too, because if I'm just, sitting at the office at my desk, there's nothing to record there. There's no content being able to be shared. So I try to at least have 3 posts a week, and not always all real estate. Sometimes, I'm posting to my son. I'm posting, funny memes that I come across, open house videos, stuff like that.
I think that's so important. So you've got the balance. So talk a little bit about the hashtags, then I want to talk about how you post. I do a whole presentation on authentic marketing, and we make fun of a lot of the posts that people do that they think are really business oriented and they're really bad. So talk about the hashtags really quick and why that's important. That just use Brazil as an example. You hashtag Brazil, and what a lot of people my age don't realize is hashtags in general are kind of like the newer age Google. So people will search based on the hashtag, and if they hashtag Brazil, anybody who's hashtag Brazil or wants to look up Brazil, they're going to look at that. And so talk a little bit about how you decide that and why that's important.
Okay, so if you're hashtagging a location, a trending topic, you can even hashtag, I hashtag all my stuff by Sell MacKenzie, but if there are people in Brazil that follow on their Instagram or Facebook account, hashtag Brazil, I follow hashtag Orlando, because hashtag Orlando is gonna be the first or second hashtag on all of my stuff. And it comes up, so you're able to see other people's content where they're posting about these hashtags, and it just keeps you more connected, even though you're not following that person or you don't even have any mutual friends. If they're in a location and you're there, then you're gonna see it, and it's we've come so far with social media.
You know how you older people like me Google Orlando real estate, or Orlando in general, and you're trying to look for something specific? it's so cool to go to the hashtags, and that content is already there for you, in my opinion, in a much easier way to maneuver through and figure out how to utilize. So you could find another realtor who's got a listing, you could find another business owner, you could find somebody from Brazil who's trying to come in here to work with somebody with a service that you have. So it's not just real estate. Super, super important. And then I had another question for you. What do you do with the, did I already ask the second question? This is my day. By the way, a shout out to Philip Madison. Philip Madison is my Saks guy, and he brought me 2 wonderful outfits. We're going to be giving a lot of shout outs to Philip over the next couple of weeks and months. This is not a Philip outfit. I'm saving that for tomorrow, Philip. But it's amazing what he's doing. And so I finally got somebody to help dress me. So big shout out to Philip Madison. But I think it's important. So we talked about the hashtags. I also want to talk about how the importance of being authentic in your marketing. And so you were talking about how sometimes it's your son, sometimes it's real estate, sometimes it's not. One of your biggest mistakes is and I talk about this in my presentation, please don't always use the key. Not every picture needs to be you and your people holding a key very uncomfortably and smiling uncomfortably, and that's your social media for the whole week. Nothing against my title company friends, but that shouldn't be your only post. And then you think, oh my God, nobody's following me on social media. Well, we're bored. It's boring. So talk a little bit about what you do.
So I've actually never taken a photo with a key or a sold sign at closing. I never have.
By the way.
But I had a business page on Facebook that was MacKenzie Peatfield Realtor, and I had, most of my friends on Facebook liked it, and I would post only my real estate stuff on there, and then my page was becoming stagnant. I wasn't getting likes, I wasn't getting comments. I mean, I would have a couple, it's like my mom. But,
moms are good for that.
But so I just stopped using that page completely just to be more authentic, because it's my business isn't houses, it's people. So I'm interested for them to be interested to be my friend,
Sure.
because I would rather work with people closely that I care about and want to do good for, rather than people who are I don't want them to think that it's just a deal and it's done. I want them to, feel comfortable.
Well, this is the relationship part again, guys. Look, you can show personal stuff on your page. If you're a business owner, I don't care what business you're in, real estate or whatever, you want people to have the relationship with you. So if all you're feeding them is business product, they're checked out. They don't want to. I don't want to see it all the time. They're not going to like your stuff. You want to include things like MacKenzie said. She includes pictures of her son or some comment about her son. Funny memes. I think people know me other from the show. They like my insomnia posts, right? It's not for everybody, but I'm doing something different. This is all part of your branding. Your branding can't be so one-dimensional that nobody wants to look at it. You're not effective in your branding.
There are so many different kinds of people too. So it's like you got to post either funny stuff, you got to post, just a variety to reach the variety of people.
It's absolutely true. All right, so people need to know you're human. Yes, you guys, the value of that, the value of them thinking that you're not this highfalutin, higher
pulling up in a
Mercedes. You got you're rolling out on the red carpet. Look, that's all pretty for pictures, but that does not connect you with any human beings. And the ones that it does, I'm almost 100% sure they're not going to use you for your services.
You don't want business with those folks.
It's not a good place to be. I have friends that love to post those kinds of pictures, but they're in a different world. They're posting them because they actually truly use social media for social media, personal. They don't use it for any other kind of promotion. And guess what? We all know the real story. So you don't really have to post that fake picture of you in front of a Bentley. We just want you to be you, authentic and vulnerable. And I think people underestimate the value of that. All right, so MacKenzie's going to share all of her contact information, how you can reach her, how you can get involved, how you can ask her more questions about living your life by design, how you can figure out how to time block. Look, she's an open book, obviously, and she's willing to talk to you. You just need to make sure you schedule it. Me too, so I'm a big proponent of that. Any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share before we head out?
So I don't, but I don't, but be a Fruit Loop in a world full of Cheerios was my quote in my yearbook, and that's the one I was able to come up with on the spot there. Be
a Fruit Loop in a world full of Cheerios. Well, I definitely fit that category. I think I have one of the Fruit Loop colors on today. You're a joy. Thanks for sharing that. I think the information you shared is so important. I think it's super important that you guys figure it out, because I know a lot of people who are just literally floating through life, and there's just no plan. There's nothing. There's no scheduling. I mean, sometimes, oh, thanks, Steve. Sometimes, I guess that could work if you're retired. I don't know. But if you really want to build your business, if you really want to be the CEO and the owner of your business and independent contractor that you are, and you want to design your own life, you've got to take some steps to do that. Design basically means you've got to figure it out. You've got to design it. That's an action verb, which a lot of people are afraid of. Don't be afraid of it. You can't mess it up. Anything's better than what you're doing now if you're just floating.
Hard work and dedication will get you to the design that you want.
Amen. All right, see there, you ended. Fruit Loops, Cheerios, and hard work. There you go. We love you guys. Thanks, MacKenzie. You were awesome.
You're welcome.
All right,
You can find me on Instagram, Buy Sell MacKenzie. That's all of my social media hashtags, my on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my website. Even if you Google MacKenzie Peatfield Realtor, you can find me on there as well. With the click of a button, you can get in touch with me via those sites.
I love it. You're a joy. All right, we'll see you back soon. Love you guys. Mwah.